Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 12 of the anime series Toaru Hikuushi no Koiuta. And this was a hell of an interesting episode as we open it, jumping ahead about 6 months ahead of the main events of the rest of the episode, seeing Kal-El, Ariel, and the surviving pilot trainees having been given their apparently final orders after the loss of a recon plane, as they're soon to be reaching the end of the sky, finally. But after the OP, we skip back to about 6 months previously, about where we left off in the previous episode, to find that this price Isla still has to pay, as mentioned by Kal-El in the previous episode, involves, much as I speculated, Nina Viento, aka Claire Cruz, but not quite how I surmised it. While a peaceful meeting is unfolding between Isla's higher echelons, as well as Claire's Nina, and the Empire of Fana Lavam, in actuality, those calling for her departure from Isla, the price still left to pay, is the Sky Clan, who, as it happens, has issued a ceasefire and an order of truce if Isla complies with their demand. Claire, showing a strong sense of honor, nobility, and maturity, of course immediately decides to take this course of action, for the greater good of Isla as she sees it, as well as her friends. But as Kal-El and the rest of the trainees find out about what she has to do, the trainees only now just becoming aware of her dual identity to boot, Kal-El is once again on the edge of heartbreak. There's a rather touching moment that follows on from this between he and his sister Ariel, where they're sitting on the swings outside the dormitory, and she's asked him what he's going to do, to which he says he doesn't know. Ari asks him essentially if he loves Claire, kind of ribs him for it, but he acknowledges in fact that he does. So Ari resolutely decrees that they're both going to go see her, which they actually do the following day, with thanks, I might add, to Ignacio's approval to the guards of the gates of the mansion Claire's holed up in. It's something of a bittersweet, somber moment as Ariel gives Claire a bunch of written messages from the rest of her trainee friends, and Ari will only leave after insisting that they're not actually saying goodbye, but just sort of a we'll see each other again soon, farewell. Once she's gone, though, Cal and Claire embrace. It's finally a private moment between them. He issues many pleading alternatives like, can't they just run away, find a private island, be together, etc., because now they know how they both feel about each other. But Claire has made up her mind. For the safety of Isla, she's resolved to go to the Sky Clan to keep the peace. Things take a dramatic upswing, though, following on from this as Cal chases her, calling out to her just as she's boarding the vessel that'll take her to them, and he shouts, being stopped by some guards on the way, that he'll reach the end of the sky, and once he does, one day, no matter how long it takes, he'll return to her. She happily acknowledges this, and is soon on her way, but not before Ignacio stops he and Ariel long enough to say he'd better keep that promise. Cal assures him he definitely will. Ignacio then says as her personal guard, a position he's held since childhood, he'll make sure no one touches her, and as he departs, he ribs Kal-El by referring to him as stupid older brother, how Ariel usually refers to him, as if to say, let's see what you've got, kid, and off he and Claire have gone. We skip back to 6 months later, following on from the trainees' last orders as we saw prior to the OP, to see them all guarding a barren Isla, as the Lavam Empire's support fleet has taken on Isla's citizens who needed to evacuate the floating isle as it approaches the end of the sky, and soon we see why. The end of the sky is almost a barrier of energy, glittering with beautiful colors akin to an aurora, and the trainees all film and watch as Isla rams into this barrier and is obliterated by its energy, each of the trainees wishing well their lost compatriots and schoolmates as Isla fades away. But it seems by Cal's, Ariel's, and the others' reactions to this that this was almost intentional, that at this point this outcome was what was expected, which was a surprise to me. And I can only guess that perhaps it was something that lays clearly defined by their theological or mythological beliefs, something strongly held by most of the citizenry in Isla as well as the other factions, which was something also heavily into play as to why the Sky Clan insisted on Nina Viento's transferring to their side. Their doctrines, as it were, prophesied the coming of a Wind Waker who would bring them everlasting peace and so forth. And so we leave off with Cal's having fulfilled his intent of reaching the end of the sky, and I can only guess as we enter into the series finale, back to Claire he'll be going. And so yeah, I can't wait to see what unfolds as the series comes to a close. That'll be it for me on this one. I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.